show and throughout the year, we hope you will choose to support the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation by using our new Text to Give platform. Just text DJFF to 243-725. You can give a one-time gift or a monthly gift throughout the year. Welcome to the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation's Jazz From the Cellar, our monthly program featuring live jazz performance from Detroit.
Welcome to Jazz in the Cellar. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And before we continue, I want to let you know the first tune that we play for you is a wonderful standard entitled Alone Together. And before I continue, I'd like to take a brief moment to introduce the members of my quartet. On the trumpet, we have Mr. John Douglas. On the bass, we have Mr. Nick Calandro. And finally, rounding out my quartet, on the drums, we have Mr. Pete Sears. So the next tune we're going to play for you is a wonderful standard entitled There Is No Greater Love. Please enjoy. Thank you so much. That was There Is No Greater Love. We're going to now play a wonderful Herbie Hancock tune entitled Maiden Voyage. Thank you so much. That was Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. Again, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Chris Collins, the director of the Jazz Festival, and also for having us. So thank you, Chris. And also, I'd like to, again, acknowledge these wonderful musicians. On the trumpet, we have Mr. John Douglas. On the double bass, we have Mr. Nick Calandro. And on the drums, we have Mr. Pete Sears. And I'm obviously on piano. I'm the band leader. My name is Zen Zadravec. So now I think we're going to do something. We haven't done anything in 3 yet. So I would like to play a wonderful standard entitled Someday My Prince Will Come.
That was beautiful, guys. Wow, man. Some great music, yeah. And now I'm just going to take a short break from the music so you can hear this important message from the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation. Throughout tonight's show and throughout the year, we hope you will choose to support the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation by using our new Text to Give platform. Just text DJFF to 243-725. You can give a one-time gift or a monthly gift throughout the year. Well, we're going to take a little break from the music because these cats have stories to tell, and I want you to know what they're up to musically. And we'll just take a few minutes to move over to the big red couch and talk to the cats if you're up for it. Find out what's happening in your life. Maybe not everything, John. This is a family show after all. So we're going to the big red couch, talk to the cats, and then we'll be back with some more music. Give us just a second. So here we are on the big red couch here at Detroit Jazz Fest Foundation, Jazz from the Cellar, talking with the Zen Zadravec Quartet. And I say that lovingly because they're a marvelous quartet to be sure, but each individual is also a truly striking musician, band leader, and one of the first call players in the region, much less nationally, in jazz and a whole bunch of other music. So we thought we'd take a minute to get to know him a little bit. Zen, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Doing good, feeling good. Certainly listening to that set brings me up a little bit for sure. You have a very particular way of manipulating the jazz vocabulary that makes it personal, which is what we're all trying to do. Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, because even for the musicians out there, it's probably the question I get asked the most is how does one develop that personal voice without leaving the history and legacy of the music behind?
It's a great question.
Thank you. I'm proud of that question.
Some hard questions coming up.
Yeah, you hit me with all the easy ones first. I think the big challenge for me is I try to listen to as much music as possible. I think the big benefit of what I try to do is when being a jazz pianist, I look at it I compare it to being a classical pianist in the sense that a classical pianist is not just going to play Baroque or romantic. They're going to play all the styles. So I'm trying to assimilate as much music as possible. So bebop, stride, McCoy, all that type of stuff, even 20s, kind of avant-garde stuff. And then the thing I'm trying to do though is that similarly, I have to generally have an honest conversation with myself. How would I do this now, right? So if I maybe learn something from Chick or something, okay, I do anything, well, where would I put that?
Right.
And then, but then it's also a matter of also trusting yourself that the assimilation is there, and then you have to trust that you're going to actually let the music come out. So I think what I've been really trying to strive for now is that to really get out of the way of myself and just let the music come out of me, and that seems to be helping a lot in terms of trusting the assimilation of the music and then just letting it come out of you, and then that's the beauty of it, is that the way it comes out, it's more natural. So
yes, indeed. Yeah. And I would say that everyone sitting here and much of the patronage listening, our favorite performances are the ones where it feels as though it's organic and breathing and natural. It's not forced, it's not contrived, and I've heard people talk in terms of it being truly spontaneous improvisation. I don't think that's not quite it. It's that there's an ease about it. There's a breath in and out about it. There's a connectivity, and as a musician, I always feel and I'm thinking very specifically a set just at the last Detroit Jazz Festival just a few weeks ago. There was this duo set that closed Sunday night with our artist in residence Chucho Valdez with Joe Lovano and Diane Reeves doing duo sets, and it was one of those incredibly exposed and transparent, but there was a feeling that the musicians were not in their bubble. They were listening out at the edge of the stage or even further with us, kind of comprehending the collective sound and where they were within that collective sound, as opposed to perceiving themselves as an individual within a group kind of a thing. And I think that takes some introspection, it takes trust, as you said, and as I always say, it takes a lot of courage to let go of a lot of these things that we've held on to. Talk about the cats. How did you meet the guys and decide that this would be an interesting quartet to work with?
Well, I mean, I think if I really think a while back, who did I meet first? I think I met John first. I think it was through Leonard King. He has a wonderful big band.
Great Leonard King.
And we started playing a little bit there, and then I started doing a weekly session with him at Burt's. That was a really a great experience for me. And then I think next was Pete. Pete and I played together with a wonderful bassist named Jeff Pedroz in Ohio. Actually, at a wonderful recording studio called Stone Soup. And but the funny thing is, like, Pete and I just commented on this before the hit, is that we hadn't seen each other since 2020.
Oh, wow.
So this was a really great reunion to, like, play with Pete. He swings his ass off. So, or I don't know if I should say ass, but he's swinging. So, but
You said it twice.
I
so,
said it.
Saturdays at night.
The
right?
words you don't see on TV by George Carlin. And then Nick actually was through a drummer. I'm blanking on his name though.
John Hill.
Yeah, John Hill in Flint, and then. And then we just started playing together, hooking up together, and actually, two of these guys are actually in my regular quartet. Like Pete was a guest today, but like he's a very welcome guest. It was killing. It was so much fun. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the things I really dug about the performance those far, and I mentioned to you guys, is the dynamics. I mean, again, forgive me for referencing a recent jazz festival performance, but
You've done that twice now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, so it must be okay. You're getting it.
Yeah,
Right?
am I? Okay.
But that's my cue card, not yours.
Apologies.
So Liebman and Berganzi,
Yeah, man.
and Gene Perla and Adam Nussbaum did the Lighthouse tribute, Elvin Jones to that early 70s era, and I was on the side of the stage, and that thing that I very much hear today that I think we all love, where here they are on a big festival stage, a lot of people, and yet the feeling on stage is very much like what we just felt here. Very, very connected, very acoustic, everything in its place. And I know you guys are powerhouse players. The dynamic potential is huge, but the ability to play in an improvised setting in such a way that things can move up and down, but you can really establish. The ear can be drawn to anything at any time, and it's not masked. It's balanced. It's beautiful, and I bring a lot back to you, Pete. I mean, right from the get, on brushes, the colors that you're able to bring out, and the energy you produce. You and Nick, right, on the leading edge of that groove. But the depth, the scope of your dynamics, how it developed through the set, was striking, man, and particularly the extremes where you never stayed there, but you touched them and then you moved in and out of them. This must be a very important part of your development as a musician.
Yeah, and well, in particular, playing with Zen, I know what he's capable of, and I know what he kind of likes, just in terms of approaching this as an accompanist. And he'll leave a lot of space, but it doesn't necessarily have to get filled up. And then the conversation is off because Nick is, it's a riot, and it's very active, and so yeah, just trying to dial in the hearing, that was of kind of what I was kind of like, that this is not my gear, but you just. This is a part of being a professional.
Yeah.
Make it yours, So it took me a tune to make friends with those drums, and then we're kind of like, okay. And then John is surfing over the top of that, and I know where he's capable of going as well. So I want to make sure that he feels supported, rather than like empty. Like, come on, no, because that instrument that's the top of the pinnacle of the sound that is going to be given. And the way he plays it is, it got dense for a minute. Yeah. But if you stay there for a while and you converse in that, then you let it go, man. And it's like people can understand it rather than just like, whoa, So it's like you got to give it to them and then understand.
The music is so much richer for that process. I mean, the engagement of an audience, and I think even for neophytes, when they have an opportunity to hear great, wise, developed jazz artists who can take you into that dynamic journey, and you feel again like the music is sort of ebbing and flowing and breathing and reaching certain points. It's more of a ride than just like a heavy groove with a lot of stuff, which has got its place for sure. But I always hear it with the great cats who have been around, their stuff tends to get, I don't want to say more transparent, but certainly more thoughtful in its shape and how that shape embolizes and then retracts into another space. I mean, it's a very sophisticated thing, and as easy as it is to talk about, we all know behind the microphone, it's something you have to invest yourself in. You have to, as you said, trust it and believe it, and believe in your bandmates to move in that sophisticated way. And it's not that easy in actual practice to maintain that level of sophistication, but you do it brilliantly, man. John, I know you haven't been around. You're one of the younger guys in the band and a little newer to town.
I might be the oldest.
Sarcasm.
I was gonna go with that, or every band needs that beautiful face,
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm still looking for that beautiful face, but John's a great trumpet player.
John, you are very special, and we talk about it a lot. I mean, one of the important things is the excitement of being part of the Detroit legacy in jazz. I mean, you're not talking about a flash in the pan or momentary injections into jazz. Detroit is the symbiotic thing, and you are so powerfully representative of that in your music and the way you approach music in general. There's humor in you that comes out in your playing in a very beautiful way. There's joy, there's introspection, there's darkness at moments that comes from other places. I mean, it's all there, and that goes goes hand in hand with the dynamic thing. Talk a little bit about that. You've been in Detroit, man. You're a Detroit cat, and that connectivity to the legacy, and how you've perceived it's had impact on you.
I just embrace everything from the water to the people to the stereotypes to the truth. Everything is probably somewhere in between the extremity of what everybody thinks it is. So I just kind of try to reside, and then it's an honest representation. Sometimes I probably wear my emotions a little bit on my sleeve. Like the first two solos, I want to jump out the window.
But you
Then
can't
I start to warm
we don't
up
have
a
windows in
little
the
bit.
cellar.
So that was probably the dark part. Yeah, luckily we were in the cellar.
Can't leave.
So, nice. But just enjoying playing with the kind of musicians that will start off making voyage like that. I mean, that was like, it opened up so many different possibilities in my mind in that moment. I just wanted to try to live up to that groove in that moment in time. It wasn't about yesterday or tomorrow, but right now.
Indeed.
What am I going to do with that?
Indeed.
And I felt like I couldn't do no wrong, so
Yeah, man.
But yeah, playing with great players.
Yep. Now, being aware that even if something is recorded and replayed, this music is all about the moment, and if you're there as a musician or an audience member to witness it and appreciating the fragility of it, that it's there and it's gone, man. And it's gone. It is that performance, that feeling that one might or might not get. And certainly, I've always been a big fan that, throughout the history of jazz, I've always perceived the developments as strong regional developments that have gone on then to be, find their way into the lexicon of music. And I think that regionalism, and I think Detroit is playing a big part, because I'm hearing more and more young musicians say, I'm not going home, I'm staying in Detroit, man, because there's a vibe here, there's an opportunity here, there's a lot of good things happening here for jazz musicians. And there's a regional thing that we've held on to that is, once you realize you're part of that, it's a pretty cool feeling. As a young person, you're inspired. As a musician, as you develop, you feel, wow, I'm following in the footsteps of Joe Henderson and Kenny Burrell and Yusuf Lateef, et cetera, et cetera. It's a pretty special vibe, man. Yeah. Speaking of region, Nick Calandro joining us from the far north of Flint, Michigan. Yes. But really part of the Detroit scene nonetheless, because anyone who lives around here knows that the Detroit, the spokes of the wheel, so to speak, extend to all of these places. Nick, I see you with so many cats. You play with a lot of different musicians. A few words from you about that thing, about adjusting, about engaging with the musicians and the music that you're playing, and having the comfort level to move and flex your attitude, your perception according to what you're in. It's a skill that's developed, and it has to be natural. It can't be like, okay, I got to turn this knob up a little bit. No, it's got to be like you just fall into it, right?
Right. And thanks. Good to be here from, we call it Detroit Light, where I'm from, Flint, about 60 miles north of that. But we're aware up there of the tradition. And I play a lot of different music. I play electric bass, a lot of funk, a lot of pop stuff. I've done a lot of things. But with jazz, there's a little more wiggle room. I mean, and I don't mean that you just play what you want, although some people tend to think that's what we're doing. Oh, you guys are just playing. There's a lot of communication. There's a little more flexibility to dance around. I mean, it's more, as opposed to a box, it's more of a circle or a spiral. And playing with these guys is just, this is my safe space. I mean, the rest of my day when I leave here, that's when the anxiety starts. That's when, oh man, what am I going to do? But getting on in front of people or whatever, when I'm surrounded by these caliber musicians, to me, it's, I'm a little kid again. But like a little kid, faster, push me faster, Dad. I want to go, higher. So you get that, that urge to kind of push it a little bit. And when you got a great support system, and and some of it is experience, because Pete and I have played together 30 some years off and on. But it's like we're saying, we may not see each other for 10 years, and we walk in and, oh my gosh, if you gain, oh man, what happened to your hair? Blah, blah, blah. We sit down and the years melt off, and it's just like so that for me is the phenomenon that's just, you have to say, wow, you can't say why, you just accept it. And as far as my role, I try to just keep my ears open. Yeah. And I and it's just, if I hear him go to a different kind of a change, then I say, oh, what can I do to play around this and add a different color to it? Especially in a modern sensibility, the Bill Evans tradition and that kind of thing, where you have kind of different kinds of changes. But, for me, it's just, I guess if I have a goal now these days, it's not to get excited, because I hear stuff that he's playing or he's cooking, and I want to just, dig in. And you have to, with a bass, I guess this goes for bass players as well as all musicians, you have to breathe. You have to relax and keep that. And I look at one of my all-time heroes, Ron Carter, and he's just sitting there like that, and his eyes are like this all the time. And I mean, that's the benchmark for me to say, hey, just breathe and let it flow. There's no thought. You don't have to tense up, because you're already doing it. You just have to, not peak too soon. It's like I guess like a long distance. You have to pace yourself.
That's a good metaphor.
There's a difference in that. But but for me, again, it's just, I have a blast playing, especially, like I say, he said, well, we're going to have Pete Sears playing drum. I said, oh my gosh, man. I was like I said, oh, this is going to be fun. Because, you get, and I've done gigs with you where we just sort of, we're always laughing, we're having fun, but we are playing the music too. We're serious about what we're playing, but we like each other enough, or we trust each other enough at the very least to make it happen, and to make the crowd say, hey man, these guys, they're having fun. I can have fun, and it's accessible to me to listen to. Especially when we mentioned dynamics, and I try to tell young people, you don't have to play loud and louder. You can have more of an effect getting really quiet at a certain moment and then building it up. And they do it, and they come back and say, man, you were right about that. We got quiet and everybody shut up and started listening. And I said, I didn't invent that, but I took it to heart, because someone older than me said, hey man, try starting at a lower dynamic, play here, and then build it up, and then play the song. Staying
calm and keeping your ears open and listening to others is not bad advice for just about anything in life, right? But it certainly plays in music with the extreme intellectual elements, creative elements, physical elements. All that is part of it, and you just can't let it. You can't let that overwhelm you, get in the way of of serving the music, which is what We're just caretakers, right? And we want to be good caretakers. That being said, no better way to wrap it up if you guys want one more tune in you.
Yeah.
That would be great. John said no, but you three can play maybe. And John, we go. We have a bar here, yeah. Cognac's like $5. I'll give it to you. And but one more tune. I'll wrap it up for us here. Well, let's do that once again. Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation, Jazz from the Cellar with the Zen Zadravec Quartet, a great body of musicians and an incredible collection of music. So let's hear them do one more tune and take us home. Here they are. Well, let's go, guys.
All right.
Yeah, cats. Bravo, bravo. All right, man. Let's get some music happening, Zach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give it up for the Zen Zadravec Quartet, yes? Quartet, yes. These cats, all known cats in our community, great leaders, great sidemen, and all kinds of different stuff all over the place. So to bring them together in one place is not always the easiest thing to do, is it, Zen? We want to very much thank these wonderful musicians once again. The great John Douglas on trumpet, the one and only John Douglas. There he is. You got like a field goal dance thing you do, eh? Is that what that's about? Well, there it is. Let's see what Pete Sears got on the drums. Pete Sears on the drums, and beautiful dynamic playing, man. Just sensitive and just really special, man. One of a kind. My dear friend, a guy we all love so much as a human being, and thank God he's a great musician, because we would have him on bass regardless. The great Nick Calandro on the bass, being watched over by Crow, right behind you there, checking it out. He wants to see what position you're playing in, you know. And the band leader, the one and only Zen Zadravec. Zen, thank you, man. The guy who taught us the meaning of Z. Z's great. I don't know. I was trying to think of something. I don't know. There we go. We hope you enjoyed this version of Jazz from the Cellar from the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation, and we hope you consider becoming one of our donors to help the Jazz Festival Foundation propagate for decades to come. So shows like this online, our signature event, the Detroit Jazz Festival, and all of our community and educational programs can continue for free for everyone for many, many generations to come. Consider texting to give. You text DJFF for Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation, DJFF to the number 243-725. Make a one-time donation, multiple donations. You can give stocks. You can start an endowment. You can do all kinds of things to build on the generosity of our angel, Gretchen Blade, and our incredible corporate sponsors, along with all the individual donors that help to keep the festival and the year-round activities free and keep things like this online, and put a few bucks in the guys' pockets. Not today. Like I told you, it'll be a couple weeks yet, but we'll take care of it. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you next time here on the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation's Jazz from the Cellar. Thanks, cats. Throughout tonight's show and throughout the year, we hope you will choose to support the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation by using our new Text to Give platform. Just text DJFF to 243-725. You can give a one-time gift or a monthly